they're old enough to start jumping. This is your first stage of jumping. So, you know, depending on the height of your dog, if you've got, you know, Eric's dog, you're going to go all the way down here. But if you've got, you know, like a border collie or a boxer or another dog, you might start here. You want to be kneeling right next to the upright, and you want to have, you know, food actually in both hands. So, you know, you might have a bowl of food behind you. And the dog's going to be sitting here, and you want them to jump directly over this jump. You want them to add arch to their back. So you've got to sit here and hold the food right down low in your hand and just have them jump over, reward, they turn around, then they jump back. They don't have to be in a sit. I mean, you might start out in a sit, but once you, you know, have given the first reward, you've got your food in the other hand, just have them turn around and just pop back up. And you're just going to add height to each success. Now, you don't reward them touching the bar at all. If they touch the bar, they don't get any treat. And the food isn't delivered down here, it's delivered back here almost at your knee. You want them to do really tight turns. So
and keep their focus
their heads
down.
and their focus forward. So they get a reward, they turn around, and they get the treat here.
Chris, maybe you want to turn the camera on. So ideally, I would have cut up treats that are even size. I just tore off a bunch of cheese, and I put it in both hands. So I'm going to have food in both hands, probably an equal number would be ideal. You'll start with it very low, but I will say when the bar is this low, the dogs don't jump. You know, they kind of just step across it. Whisper. Now, why we didn't do this one first? Hey, shh, shh. Whisper, come here, come here, come here. Right here, right here. Right here. Come here, Whisper. She's surfing.
She's cleaning.
He's cleaning.
And I don't have my toy. Let me do this. So this shows I don't have engagement.
Here she comes.
So get out our toy. Yeah. Now she's gonna get engaged with me.
This is not, I mean, she's getting the dog engaged, but
Yeah, normally we don't
use
want to, but it was just
toys.
because I rushed her out there, came here, not paying full attention to her, so I need her to pay attention to me, not to the room. Now, remember we did the offering exercise. This is, again, another situation with offering, and my knees don't bend quite very well, but you want to be here. So, So, now you may take you may take a while to do this. I'm going to move it up a little so you can start to see the jumping part. Yes. And I said yes, but you don't really need to. The reward comes. Hey, whisper, whisper. So she doesn't get this. She's pawing at my hands, but she doesn't get it unless she's jumped and not touched. And this is going to go a lot slower than this, but Whisper's already done this.
Okay, the treats are coming from your hand.
They're coming, I'm just opening my hand.
So the object is that they're learning to
They're,
clear the bar?
see, notice, if you watch her head, her focus is down at my knees, or basically the base of the jump.
Okay.
That's why I'm standing right here.
So my question is, why don't you put the food, treat the bar? Because to me, with a lot of students, they're so treating from the hand that you want to break them from that. So why don't you treat the bar? Why are you
We
having
could
your
drop
thumb?
it, you could put the food down if you wanted to, yeah. You could put it there, as long as they put it there and release it.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, so that's perfectly fine. But it won't work to leave the food there because then they'll come and get it.
No, you're not
Right.
supposed to leave it
Yeah.
there.
So,
The reason is
yeah.
because so many people keep treating from them that the dog becomes so handler focused.
Yes.
They get
Yeah.
focused on the
And
hands.
I always try to break that with students.
Hey, come here, whoop, 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 yay! Now, another thing to watch for is good. Is notice her back end. Now there, her back feet sort of bounced one time, but this time they landed great. Well, they sort of slid again. We want them to, as they progress, this is not something we do right off, is try to reward just when the feet just land and stick the landing. It helps them learn a little more control of switching. Good, all right. All right, ran out of treats. But that's a demonstration of what it looks like, and you can work on this. You know, I would say getting up to a height above what they would normally jump, you know, so they do a few repetitions, one bar, one jump height. And go in very small increments, 2 inches. I mean, it's nice that these are 2 inches, just do that. Every dog's gonna be different. If they don't wanna offer, you could do a little luring at first, but they should probably get the idea pretty quick. It's about jumping over. But again, when it's here, they do not jump, you know? They just walk over
They
it.
step
And
over.
Well, the bigger dogs, the smaller dogs.
the
that
small,
isn't-
yeah, no, the
yeah.
smaller dogs
Yeah.
will, yes.
Because, you know, there's gonna be
Right.
some
Yeah.
Pomeranian, yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just that, you know, some people have said to me, well, you know, my dog is just stepping over the jump, they're actually taking, you know, one foot and then the other foot. And, you know, I said, well, you know, don't worry about it, as the bar goes up, you know,
Yeah.
they'll start jumping because they have to.
And really, this is a physical conditioning. This is the dog learning how to manage their body. That's all really this is about. This is doing your push-ups, or it's just a way for them to develop a skill to learn. And by staying this close, they're going to be jumping from their rear end.
It's
rather
funny,
than
because I
off.
was saying I had a dog, I'm trying to build up rear end strength.
Yeah.
It's a 7-year-old dog, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this. It's
Absolutely, absolutely. You can imagine with an older dog where you know, the number of reps aren't gonna be a problem. You can, well, you know, older dog, but a mature dog, if you did 10 or 15, you know, build up just like if you were going to the gym, you know, maybe they can only do 5, and then in a couple weeks they can do 10 or 15 or something like that. So this is just simply building up the muscle strength to be good, with good form. The next progression would be, and I don't have treats, would be to work your way up. You gotta do the same exercise. You know, first you might only go to here. Christy, could you grab me a few treats? And then, because it's gonna change the picture, and you may have a tendency for the dog to look up at you as you stand up. So let me go in here about this height. But my hand should stay down here low, and my reward should be, and this is now starting to where it'd be better to drop the treat. And then, if they want a reward from the hand, it has to be lower than their knees. But I'm still trying to maintain her downward focus. We're sort of making it a muscle. And then the next progression, no reward. Next progression would be on the handler on the takeoff side. Now, really, you know, you notice how the turn was a lot wider because I did this little spin around instead of stopping her and going, so my turn was a lot wider. I don't really want to encourage that, and that was simply a mistake on my part by not settling her down a little bit there. Because, remember, this is the learning part of it. They're learning how to do this rather than testing whether they can turn tight with a lot of speed already, so. And especially with someone kind of as frenetic as her, it's really important to Stop her. Very nice girl. Now, I'm going to jump way ahead. As the dogs, and we'll do this, we'll also do this with wings, getting them going around the rings. But then we can start, notice I was rewarding here, but now we can start building the tightness by rewarding across the face of the jump like that. So by her really liking it, wanting the toy, and let's see, and of course we'll build distance, we'll back up. This again is very jumping, big chunks ahead. Rewarding up there. And then, of course, once you get on this side of the jump, you're going to go, you've got to work both sides, right? The other way they were jumping in both directions, but. And you might notice that the dog turns better one side or the other. So if that's the case, you need to do a lot more of that side. And I'd say she doesn't show quite as curling that direction.